The spiritual uprising. July is not asking for permission. It is asking for your full power. This is a sacred spiritual checkpoint and a recalibration to rise. Welcome to July's energetic forecast. I am Anne-Marie McKenzie. I'm a psychic spiritual teacher, soulful business strategist, heart conscious leader, and your favorite business witch. Every single year, quarter, month, week, day, I do the energetic pulse of what's happening in the collective from a numerological, that was a mouthful, perspective. Astro numerology perspective. I will share with you insights in terms of the energy that we're working with this month, which is rooted in the number 7 as it relates to business and life. Before we fully dive into it, wherever you're watching this on whatever platform, I just ask that you love up on it, give it a like, give it a comment, let me know what resonates with you. Let me know what's really landing, and please share it with your friends. And I will send you a tsunami of love for doing so. Thank you. Now, let's just take a moment to look at June, because inner reflections before outer actions. I've been doing this for 12 years. I have always been an action taker, which is connected to the 7. I'm a 7 of clubs, and I have a tendency to make the plans, set the goals, set the intentions without just pausing to reflect on where we've been and how it's impacted us. So that 6 energy was all about doors close, portals open. If you didn't catch the June forecast, you should. If you haven't caught the 2025 energy forecast, now is a perfect time to do so as well, to help you understand the entirety of 2025 and this 9 energy that's the overarching theme to rise from the shadows and lead with light, because a new dawn is upon us. And now this month we're coupling that 9-7 energy. Oof. We got some big stuff that's going on. So this month in the numerology of business collective, we tuned in to June. We took some time to have conscious conversations around what doors closed, and therefore, because of closing of those doors, what portals of possibility became open. That 6 energy last month was really helping us usher in new levels of harmony and balance, even though I don't really love the term balance. I feel that it's a farce. But when we're looking at life and all aspects of life and all aspects of business, and if we were to make it a sexy pie chart, we're just ensuring that all pieces of the pie exist. They're not always necessarily equal slices. Just like when we're at a family gathering and we have that one aunt, or me, because I'm not a sweets person, I'm a savory person, that says just a little slice, and then sometimes says maybe another little slice. But as long as those slices exist to create the balance, and there's going to be times where some pieces of the pie are bigger rather than others. And that's what 6 energy is about, because it was on the heels of 5 energy, and 5 energy loves change. So that 6 helps us come home, because 5 was supporting us to be adventurous, to try some new things, to do things differently, to experience things from a new perspective. So that 6 energy was asking us to come home and just ease in. Now we're moving into this 7 energy. And as I said at the beginning, this is about a spiritual uprising, a recalibration to rise. The 7 is it's an action taker. The 7 loves to take risks. I love 7 energy and equating it to risk it for the biscuit. That was a theme last year in a 7 energy month, and the community absolutely loved it and still says it. They're like, hey, what are we doing? Risking it for the biscuit. Risk it for the biscuit. It's about having fierce faith, definitely trusting in our intuition, trusting in our inner knowledge and wisdom. The 7 is meant to be a natural teacher, guide, loves to hoard information and wisdom, and therefore is meant to share it, because knowledge isn't power unless it's shared. And we are meant to call all of our power back to us this month. On the disempowered side of 7, when it's not at the top of its game, the 7 can be a procrastinator. The 7 can be indecisive. The 7 can have this tendency to, like, we're meant to be taking risks, but sometimes the risks that the 7 can take doesn't consider the consequences of those actions before jumping. It's also a spiritual badass. It is one of my absolute favorite numbers. I'm biased, 7 of clubs, but it is a spiritual badass because it is the only number that is not divisible by pi. 1 to 9, all the other numbers are divisible by pi. So therefore, it defies the math and the logic that our reality was built on because it sits outside of the circle of life. And when we take a deep dive into the magic of the number 7, all numbers are magical. I just want to clarify that. I know that I might be talking like it's extra special. All numbers are special, but 7, it's everywhere. Look in religion, 7 days of creation, seventh heaven, 7 underworlds, the Holy Trinity, plus, I forget that one. Wish I didn't say it. I'm not really into organized religion anymore, but it's totally woven into everything about organized religion. It's woven into our world. 7 musical notes, 7 colors of the rainbow. The original telephone numbers was 7. In our body, there's 7 layers of the skin, 7 holes in the head. 7th day is when the umbilical cord falls off. I've posted about this. You can contact the Oracle Jujul about it. 7 is really magical. 7 wonders of the world. I can go on and on and on about all the correlations to the number 7. So it's literally this spiritual badass, especially because it's working with that 9 energy. 7 also represents endings and completions. Yes, the manifestation cycle that we typically talk about in numerology is related to the 9 steps in that process. But there are many cycles that are rooted in 7 as well. For example, in numerology, when I do forecasts for people, there are 7 planetary cycles that we all go through and that the collective goes through every single year that are each 52 days long. And those 7 cycles are planetary cycles that are connected to Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And every single one of those cycles can carry its own energy as well. When the theme dropped in, when I was meditating, praying, working with my spiritual support team, which the 7 energy wants us to do as well, because it's a spiritual badass, so a great time to build your spiritual support team if you don't have one, which we all do. But if you don't understand who's on your spiritual support team, this is a really great time. When I was connecting with my spiritual support team, it was very clear that there's a spiritual uprising happening. And it's because we are literally in a spiritual war. I know that the muggles in the Matrix that watch the news feel like on Earth is in a war, but it's really rooted in spirituality. And the light is winning. For perspective. So there's no need to fear. We are shifting into a new paradigm. We are shifting into a new Earth. And that can look really chaotic and really messy sometimes. It involves a lot of challenges, a lot of spiritual assignments. But one thing that came through in the Numerology of Business Collective conversation that we had was there was one client that said this in June, for every problem, an elegant solution will follow. That was a statement that she anchored into as she was experiencing a lot of chaos in her life. A lot of things were happening for her that were outside of her control and are still happening. And to support her to navigate it, she continued to say to herself, for every problem, an elegant solution will follow. This is a time where we're completing and ending cycles because of 7 energy, but we're also in this quarter, in July, August, and September, we are working with 7, 8, 9 energy. And in September, it's a 9 energy month in a 9 energy year. So a double 9. So there's a lot of death, completion, releasing, letting go, things coming to a close, coming to an end, anything that is no longer in alignment with the highest good for all. And the highest good for yourself is the highest good for all, will fall away. This is a shedding that we are in. I guarantee that who you are right here, right now, especially who you were at the beginning of this year, and who you are right now, is not who you will be by the end of September, especially for people who are actually doing the work, for the healers, the light workers, the light warriors, the spiritual warriors. You are here to support other people to navigate and do this as well. I typically work with spiritual entrepreneurs, and I support them to scale with soul by aligning with their purpose, amplifying their gifts, and activating the divine prosperity that is their birthright. And we do so by authentic soulmate client attraction. So ensuring that each spiritual entrepreneur is attracting that person that they are coded to. So it's a weaving of spirituality into business. This is a part of the new paradigm. This is a part of the new earth that we are creating. This is a part of how we are doing business differently. We are not meant to be here for everyone, but we are energetically coded to a specific type of person who has a specific set of problems and challenges that you are literally created to support them to solve. And this is what we're meant to do, is simply our part. So when we talk about a spiritual uprising, when I talk about spiritual warfare over light and dark, sometimes this can feel really big. This can feel really heavy. This could potentially activate fears, trigger insecurities, imposter syndrome. All we are meant to do is focus on ourselves. Remember that 1% every single day equals a 365% improvement in a year. This is a time for us to go inward. This is a time for us to tune in. Because before you lead others to rise, the 7 energy of July will ask you to pull back, refine your mission, anchor your energetic boundaries, and listen deeply to your inner guidance. Sometimes that direction that we've been going full steam ahead towards isn't necessarily the path that you are meant to be walking. What will happen during the spiritual uprising is many people, and I've had many clients already sending me DMs, messaging me on Voxer, saying, you're not going to believe what's happening to me. And these divine breadcrumbs and downloads, these spiritual insights are just dropping in terms of their purpose. And it doesn't mean that we were wrong a year ago or even 6 months ago in terms of, yes, this is who I am. This is what I'm meant to do. These are the clients that I'm meant to serve. But now it's cracking something wide open in everybody to see that bigger picture, to see more clearly, and the 7 is supporting with clarity, to see more clearly that direction that we are going. So this is an opportunity for a cosmic audit. We frequently talk about audits in my community, whether it's a personal audit with our relationships, with our own well-being, our spiritual practices, or in our business in terms of our offers and services and clients, but a cosmic audit. What's the legacy that you are building? What's that vision that you are casting? And are you still playing small? Or are you wired for more? And what's helping us with that is a frequency detox. Everything is energy, everything is vibration, everything is a frequency. and this matrix that we are coded to in Earth is getting a shakedown. There was a vision and a sound, Elvis, shake, rattle, and roll. The vision is like a dog after it jumps out of the water. It's summertime where I live, or a duck after it's been in the water, and you know how they like shake everything off. The vision I had was that, but it was the Earth's core. Again, we are sloughing off low vibrational frequencies that we are no longer in alignment with, and the Earth is doing the same as well. So we're going to see that in events throughout the world, and we're going to see that in our personal life. This could look like big emotional outbreaks. Grief is a part of that, definitely associated with 7, because the 7 typically teaches us through loss. And so there's the sloughing off of that as well, of old emotions. Again, a recalibration to rise. Some of the key themes. So I want you to consider that spiritual alignment equals business clarity. So we're looking at why, our mission, our vision, our values. We're diving into this in the numerology of business immersion and revisiting it, because that's going to change sometimes as well. Why we started something 10 years ago might not be the same reason why we keep doing it right here, right now, and keep getting up every single day. This is about brutal honesty and asking ourselves what still fits and what doesn't. And if it doesn't fit, letting it go, allowing it to serve its purpose and move forward with something different in a new direction. We're also meant to really focus on our energetic hygiene and our psychic boundaries. If this is a spiritual uprising, I don't care who you are, how psychic you are, how strong your intuitive superpowers are, we need to focus this month, and not from a place of fear, on calling all of our power back to us. Because as this cosmic audit and this frequency detox is happening, there's potential spots of vulnerability for energetic leaks to happen. So protection can look really simple. One of the statements that I'm using and that I'm encouraging my entire community to use is shield your field. Shield your field. The way I described it to a couple clients actually, and so I'm going to be doing a masterclass on this next week in the numerology of business immersion, is to consider this. We have an energetic field that naturally goes 30 feet. Within that 30 feet, and we have the potential to send it farther, I definitely know that I do, there's layers, there's rings, and we have the capability to call that energy back. It doesn't need to be 30 feet out, because think about it. If we're walking around with our energy in a 30-foot radius, and so is everybody else, when you're in large crowds or groups of people and you go into public spaces, then we potentially can pick up that energetic debris from a very large space. So it's our job to practice spiritual hygiene, to practice energetic hygiene and cleanse and clear that. The best thing to do to shield your field is call your energy back to you. Just tighten up that bubble. It doesn't have to be 30 feet away. It can be really close to our body. And then a statement that I use is light above me, light below me, light around me, light within me. My light is my vision and my protection. And I visualize an egg around me. It's translucent, transparent, opaque. It has a little bit of that shimmery pink, white with a little bit of gold glitters in it. And that's my protection shield. Nothing can penetrate that. But I can emit more love, more light, more compassion. It allows it to go outside of the egg, but nothing can come inside of the egg unless it's matching that high frequency. That's all we have to do. Internally, focus on maintaining a high frequency. And when you're exhausted, when you're in chronic fatigue, when you've been overdoing it. And the 7 energy can do this sometimes because, again, it's an action taker. It loves forward momentum. It can lead to burnout. And we don't want to be bringing that into the 8 energy in August, because the 8 energy can be workaholic energy. And that's not the train that we want running at all. We have to slow down, practice that pause. Think energetic cleansing. If you're near a lake, stream, river, ocean, get in that water as much as humanly possible. If you don't have that, saltwater baths. I love using different essential oils to cleanse my energy. You can use something like Palo Santo or sage to smudge yourself. Or again, using Reiki, visualizing yourself. You don't need anything. You can use crystals if you want, but you can just simply visualize yourself cleansing your energy and raising your own personal vibration. The veil is very thin. This is why I'm encouraging you to practice energetic hygiene and psychic boundaries, because the veil is very thin, and it's important for us to practice discernment during this time. So if we are aligning with that 7 energy and practicing the sacred pause, I want you to visualize it like this. Think of it this way. The 7 energy is, you're an archer, you have your bow in hand, and you're drawing back that bow. Now, before you let go of the arrow, you're pausing to be intentional with your aim, with the direction that you are going. We need to continue to practice that sacred pause, to slow down in order to speed up. And when we do that, then it becomes easier to risk it for the biscuit, because we practice discernment, we're maintaining a high frequency, we've done a cosmic audit, we know the direction that we are heading in, and it's easy for us to do a full body yes or a full body no, right? This is not a time to hop on any trends. This is not a time to mimic other people or to tune into any fear narratives. So if you're still listening to the radio, listening to the news, reading the newspapers, for the love of all things good, stop. It's just fear porn. It is an illusion meant to keep you disconnected from yourself, from your spiritual support team, from God, Goddess, all that is, the universe, from your inner guidance system, that GPS that we are all tuned into, our heart intelligence that allows us to communicate with the universe. Shield your field. In terms of business specifically, one thing that came through for this month is refining your launch. So if something isn't working, July will show you why. We have, it's because the 7 energy is saying, get your ass in gear. Like, giddy up is what somebody commented about 7 energy. And I love it. It's so true. It's about getting your ass in gear. It's about preparation work. And we're not meant to continue to do things that aren't working. And it may work on paper. It may be calling in money. It may be calling in clients, but it could be not enough money. It could be the wrong type of clients, or maybe not at all and no money at all. Or it could just be a system that you're implementing that somebody else told you to implement because it worked for them, but it's not actually in alignment with who you are and what it is that you want to do. Many of the people that I work with, they don't want to show up on social media all the time. And so we're moving into these strategies where it's an hour-long masterclass or a video that we're popping on YouTube. We're breaking that down with, some form of tech that's going to support us, like Opus clips, breaking that down into mini segments, putting that on Instagram as a reel, putting that on YouTube as a reel, transcribing it, turning that into a blog, popping that onto a website to improve SEO, and then breaking that down even further to possibly create 15 to 20 to maybe even 25 different pieces of social media content, all because of 1 hour showing up, shining your light, teaching, sharing your wisdom, what it is that you know. And then using, I don't want to say better platforms because I'm not an expert yet, but utilizing platforms like Pinterest, for example, that supports longevity, right? and or maybe even transcribing things if you're focusing on YouTube, which I do for these forecasts now, turning that into a podcast episode as well. So really, again, being intentional with our time and energy and capitalizing on one piece of content or one piece of offer and how we can break that down into smaller pieces to support our business and to, more importantly, to support our energy and to look at launches from that perspective as well. The last thing that came through was quiet visibility equals magnetic resonance. So one thing that you are meant to be aware of with that 7 energy is that you will feel called to hide, to just step away from it all. And it's okay if that's what it is that you need to do, but don't disappear. Just shift how you show up. You're not meant to disappear. Just shift how you show up. And I just gave you an example of how we do that in my world as one strategy, one soulful strategy. This is about embodied wisdom. It's not going to work anymore if you read a book and you regurgitate that information. We must embody the work that we are sharing with other people. This is about integrated, embodied wisdom. Because quiet visibility equals magnetic resonance. People are going to start to pick up on whether that this is true or not, because that 7 energy is a truth seeker and a truth speaker. So when you are showing up, this is about poetic truth telling. And the stories that we're sharing are stories of growth and transformation. This month, we want to rest to receive again so we can recalibrate to rise and lead with clarity. So practice the pause. We have a very special day coming up, which is the 7/7 portal. Astrologically, it's a really magnificent day as well, where Gemini connects with Uranus. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of that right here, right now. But you can certainly search it and find out more information about that. I love Gemini. It's connected to Mercury, and Mercury is going retrograde July 17th to August 11th. Mercury is a planet of technology, a planet of communication. So it's going to support us with our branding, with our messaging, with our quiet visibility for magnetic resonance. And that 7/7 portal, again, I want you to consider this as a sacred checkpoint to get your ass in gear, to be a part of this spiritual uprising, because the world needs you now more than ever. I think that we all forget this sometimes, especially if we're tuning into that pulling back energy that can sometimes make us want to go and hide. If you've followed me for quite some time, you know that I went into the woods for 10 days, was pretty much off grid. Just did it again, and I have planned several other times to do so in the month. But sometimes when we get into that and then we try to step into reality again, there's a fire that needs to be lit under our ass. And once you tune into that, that 7 energy will support you to be all gas, no brakes. But when we're pedal to the metal, we want to make sure that it's in the right direction. I don't know about you, but I cannot stand doing something in an inefficient way. I want to conserve my energy. This is about calling my power back. This is about out of performance and into power. Because productivity doesn't equal our worth anymore. We're letting go of all of that this month. Let's pull a card today to end this forecast. Again, I would love to hear in the comments what really resonated for you. Are you feeling this shift? Are you excited for that 7/7 portal? Are you ready for the spiritual uprising? Are you ready for July to not ask for permission, but ask you to call all of your power back? In our home, we've been cleansing and clearing. We've been sitting in meditation and prayer to do some grid work. I've also been working with a shaman and several other healers to really just peel back the energetic layers and find any possible energetic leaks that are still happening. I was talking to a client today actually about an energetic leak and how she's increasing her capacity for more, but there's this small aspect of her business, and it seems really minute and a little bit trivial, but she's not doing it. And in doing so, she's causing an energetic leak in her personal field and in her business as well. So we talked about the mindset around that and why it's possibly happening. And the soulful strategy that we chose was to step into generosity, to really get clear on how you want to be generous in your life and in your business, and using that as a mechanism, as a support system to fully block that energetic leak. Because it used to be a floodgate. Now it's just a small trickle, but let's call it to a close, right? Let's fully cut a cord. Let's break those chains. Let's sever those ties to anyone, anything that is actually draining our energy. Okay, so a spiritual uprising. What would you have us hear today? What would you have us see? One of the lights goes out. What would you have us hear today? What would you have us see? What would you have us feel? What would you have us say? What would you have us experience in terms of July, this spiritual uprising, this calling our full power back to us? Star Keeper, the cosmic ancestor, seed the light by staying grounded. This could not be a better message for this month. What did I talk about at the beginning of this call? This is a time for us to connect to our spiritual support team. It's also a time for me to repaint my nails. This is a time for us to reconnect to our spiritual support team. This is a time for us to tune into our psychic gifts and abilities, which we all have. Again, I'll be talking about the clairs in the Numerology of Business Immersion next week. We'll also be talking about our spiritual support team. We have about minimum, at least about 30 on our spiritual support team. These are ancestors that have walked on earth with us. We also have a soul family that is a part of a galactic family as well. And this card is validating that, the Star Keeper. We have soul contracts with a lot of people here on earth and beyond. And so tune into that, tune into your cosmic ancestors, tune into that light. This is about not only tuning into these higher frequencies, but remember to anchor it into the here and now, anchor it into this reality, support the collective consciousness in this spiritual uprising, because it might be really difficult for many people, especially those who are just beginning their awakening journey. It can feel, again, very chaotic, very messy, very disruptive, dysregulating to their nervous system. And the best thing that we can do is regulate our own nervous system, is to stay anchored in the light, is to continue to operate as a heart conscious leader, to move forward with empathy, kindness, compassion, and love, to continue to do our best to communicate in ways that are rooted in empathy, kindness, and compassion, but also communicate in ways to give other people some grace, right? To forgive others, to allow others to make mistakes and forgive themselves. There's nothing to fear. You are love. I am love. We are all love. And we're heading to a really great place. Continue to trust in that, as the 7 wants you to do. Continue listening to your inner guidance system, following your intuition, loving up on each other, keep having fierce faith, and don't be afraid to risk it for the biscuit this month. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I love you. Thank you. If you're interested in working with me, you can head to AnneMarieMcKenzie.com. There's a lot of beautiful things that are happening in the numerology of business. There's an on-demand course summer school is in. So if you're interested in understanding the energetics of your personal code, your leadership style, how to use numerology to plan in your business and to build out soulful strategies, that is something that you can do on your own as self-study. The immersion course is open. A new cohort is starting in July, as well as the Master Heart Mastermind. And as always, we have the Numerology of Business Collective every month. We hang out twice, the first and third Wednesday every single month. And it's the easiest, most accessible way to be in my world, to have access to me. It's only $44 a month. And if you do want a one-off numerology of business reading, I open up a small amount of spaces every single quarter. And there's a couple available left for the month of July. Sending you lots of love. Again, I can't wait to hear in the comments what really stood out for you for this month. What are you looking forward to? What are you most excited about? And of course, remember, I'm kind of a big deal, and so are you. Big love. Bye for now.